Ah, snap. Okay, so clearly this video has been running while I was out here sharing and clicking and doing all those other things. How y'all doing tonight? Hey, I just wanted to jump on actually to let you all know that we were not going to do a chat tonight. We weren't going to do a check in tonight because it's early and I have an assignment at 9 o'clock that I must fulfill. So I won't be able to do the normal 9 o'clock chit chat, check in. Um, but I wanted to stop in this week because we haven't been here for a couple of weeks. And there has been so much going on out here. And I just wanted to stop in and see if anybody was on tonight. I know this is usually a busy church night for some, Bible study night for some, work night for some, resting night for some. That's what I'm going to be doing shortly, is getting some rest because y'all, I'm old. I'm okay with it. It's a blessing to be old. I'll be 50 in a few weeks, and I am looking forward to it, Lord willing. And I'm excited about it. So we had a few weeks ago the NAACP Awards were on, and I found those to it was really an interesting watch because there were some people who won awards who I'm not familiar with, but then there were some people who did, and I was really excited for Miss Viola Davis, who just it was exceptional. It was so good. And she did just a great job in the movies that she was nominated for. And so I'm always happy to see her win awards because I think she is probably one of our premier actresses in this season of life. I think that she is somebody who is going to be doing some major things, making some major moves. I pray for a long time because she's a really good quality actress. But it was really cool. Hey, Sean Jetta, what's going on? What is going on? But I just came in to be accountable to the people. We haven't been here, and this would be 2 weeks we would have missed if I didn't do tonight. So I just wanted to stop in and say, hey, y'all, we've not abandoned. We have simply, just been busy, and I won't be able to come on tonight at our normal time because I have an assignment that starts at 9, and I want to be faithful to this, though, because you all have been extremely supportive with sharing and watching the replays and just helping us, find our flow here. So I appreciate everybody. How are things in Atlanta, sis? We've got us some crazy weather here right now. But yeah, so we had, as I was talking about, we had those, the NAACP Awards, and I really enjoyed those. I think Anthony Anderson did a really good job hosting. That little girl, Jasmine Sullivan, sang her face off. And I hope that whatever gentleman it is that she was singing to, that she wrote that song for, I pray that he does stop by and pick up his feelings, or maybe not, because she sang that song in such a way, especially after the past week or so of watching the Aretha Franklin documentary, or not, well, biopic, I guess. She did such a good job, and I was like, this is the time for those people who are trying to step into new dimensions. I know spiritually I'm trying to step into new dimensions, and professionally in my life, crossing over to another year pretty soon. And so I'm not trying to operate in the same dimension I was in. I'm not trying to operate in the same capacity. And so it's a blessing to get an opportunity to see that, in a week when we were celebrating, the an older generation with the works of Tina Turner, whose documentary was fantastic. If you get a chance to watch it, you need to watch it. And of course, Aretha Franklin. I know her family was not supportive of this movie. And once I had a chance to see it, I understood a little better why. I think that they talked about some things that were I didn't know, but when you get out into the discussion boards and things like that, apparently it was information that people knew about some of the challenges that she had growing up. And I'm even further convinced the woman is a genius. She was a genius, and it makes the soulfulness of her music make so much sense because she was living through such a difficult thing. And again, I remember some time ago, our first lady, we were talking about some songs, and she was talking about Tremaine Hawkins and the way that she just pours out that song "Holy One." The way she pours that song out, that it came out of years of something, and that she was just really pouring out of her soul. Well, I feel like that's what Aretha was doing in her music, and you understand the depth of some of her pain and some of her sorrow and some of her blues. You really get an opportunity to understand it if you get a chance to watch that. Because I knew she had been a young mother. I didn't know she was having kids at 12 and 13. I knew that her father was a pastor, but I didn't know some of the other things that they talked about. And I really do want to get a few people together to talk about it, specifically have a targeted conversation about that movie. And I don't know if we need to wait for the next Aretha movie, or if we need to let this one kind of be a thing by itself. And when the other one comes out, we'll follow up, because this movie touched on so many things, specifically accountability in ministry, the balance between family, ministry, and entertainment. Because those are things that are pivotal for me, because it is, my desire. My son is in the entertainment industry. It's my desire to be a content creator full time. I'm tired of going to this office. It's my desire to branch off into content development full time. And so I'll be working on some of the education, some of the skills that I need to do that. It's actually the first time I've told people that, so shh, don't tell nobody. But those are things that really you do have to be really careful about, because you don't want to take away credibility from what it is that you would do in ministry for the sake of the other pieces. Because I feel like when you live a fragmented life like that, you can't be yourself. And I believe in integrity. I believe in being a whole person who loves the Lord and loves a good laugh, who understands how to talk about current events and things in such a way that it doesn't tear the person down that you're talking about. Even if there are some jokes at their expense, they're public figures. When you're a public figure, it is what it is. People are going to talk about you. That's what you want. But at the same time, there's just this mix of things that's necessary. But one of the most dangerous things that you can do in a professional career. Right. That's what I'm talking about, Shawnetta. What's said here, what we talk about in here, it stays in here until we start sharing, and then I ask y'all to share it too. So yeah. But we can act like we in Vegas when we in here. But and so that movie has some really interesting topics, and I really am interested in having what I think I'm going to title a church check-in on my other channel for that, because I think that movie really does get into some themes that are really important. We've got people in the body of Christ that are hurting. They're creative and they don't have anywhere to use their creativity. The Lord is giving them visions and dreams, but a lot of their art comes from their pain. And so, how do you get to that place where you're healed enough to pour out, to where you're not broken by what you get out here and experience? And I believe that that's what happens to so many of our really, really, extreme, genius artists, performers, singers, musicians, and why I think there's so much drug abuse. Yeah, I think because there's money and access and influence and all of that. But I also believe that there's so much brokenness in people that they pull on to produce whatever art it is that they're producing. And so I think that we owe it to them to be understanding, and to cover them in prayer. I believe in praying for the people that I allow to entertain me, because I don't want them to be broken and beat up. I would hate for you to live a good life in front of me, but behind closed doors be suffering. That's misery, and I don't think that's what Christ died for. Amen. Amen. So I do want to have that. So I'm going to reach out to some of you all sometime pretty soon in the next week or two for that. But that'll be an event that happens on Christ is Our Culture. And by that time, we'll have some other things going on over there as well. But so we had the NAACP Awards, and like I said, I need to look at my list to kind of refresh me on who did what, because I did enjoy watching it. I love that the people were at home, and we didn't get a chance to, there wasn't a whole lot of the showing off of, the extras, people who really didn't have anything out to celebrate, but so we get to see all of this and that and the other. But okay, so D Nice won Entertainment of the Year. Now, I had not heard anything from D Nice since 1995. So I didn't even know that D Nice was still a thing that was happening out in public. But then my son hipped me to, he was kind of one of the first DJs to really get out there on Instagram and start, creating talk around music, and, helping them get back to where, the artist's music was getting heard again. So streams were getting done again. And it opened the door for some of the stuff that we're seeing, including the verses that was on the other night with Earth, Wind, and Fire. I want to talk about that one. But let's see. Bad Boys for Life won Outstanding Motion Picture. Chadwick Boseman, of course, won Outstanding Actor in a Motion Picture. We're going to miss him. So I think he had just such a rare gift. But what we learned from what he did, which was, just that determination to set his family in a good position, because he knew he was battling a sickness that could be terminal. Man, that says something. If we would live every day knowing that we're storing up for our family, knowing that we're storing up for the next generation, it might be easier for us to go through some of the difficulties that we deal with. Yeah, you need to stick on that job a little bit longer and not just walk away, because you're not just planning for you, you're planning for the next generation. You're trying to make it easier for them. Yeah, you pray just a little bit longer. Add on just a few minutes and pray for your grandchildren. I know you may not even have any children yet, but pray for your grandchildren. Because you're not just dealing with what you see right now, because you don't know what day you may be transitioning on to something else where your soul may be required in another place. We don't know when those ends are promised to us. Unfortunately for him, he knew. And what I love is he didn't choose to traumatize us with watching him go. He handled that with his family. And so, again, if you enjoy his movies, pray for his wife. I don't know if they had children, but pray for his family, because it's got to be difficult to see people celebrating your loved one and they're gone. And you kind of have to, as Tina Turner talked about in her documentary, you kind of have to relive that loss. It was why we prayed for Vanessa Bryant the way we did when Kobe passed, because you got to relive that thing over and over and over. I remember when my dad died, and when I came back to work, it was really hard, because that first day, everybody wanted to talk about it. Everybody wanted to either talk about the funeral or talk about my dad or talk about how I was feeling. And for those of you who really know me, I'm an introvert. I don't really like want to have a whole lot of conversation as it is. But once you get me going, we going. We're having it. But that first day back at work, having to spend so much time rehashing, it was so hard and so draining. And so I can only imagine, what they go through when, their loved one was a celebrity and you turn on the TV and there they are. You open a magazine and people are talking about your loved one. It gotta have, it probably seems to me like it probably comes with a different set of obstacles. And yes, sis, you're correct. We have to change our mindset. You're not just building for today. You're planting seeds for the next generation. You're planting seeds. What are they going to say about you? May be 25 right now, but in 25 years from now, you could be someone, should the Lord tarry, you could be somebody's grandmother. You could be somebody's auntie. You could be somebody that is a part of a legacy in your family. And what's going to be the piece that you're adding? What piece of the quilt? I know people don't quilt anymore, but grandmamas used to quilt. I may take up quilting. I think it might be something to do. But squirrel moment, please forgive me. But what piece of the quilt are you going to be? What piece of what strand in the fabric of your family are you going to be? Or are you going to leave something positive behind? Are you just going to be the uncle that used to kick it with everybody? I mean, I don't devalue that because we don't have a lot of fun people in the world. I'm not a fun person, but I love fun people. So, whatever it is that you're able to add to your family, just remember you're not building just for today. You're building for tomorrow too. So keep all of that in mind before you go get in trouble and do all of that. But yeah, Chadwick Boseman, outstanding actor in a motion picture. Stacey Abrams received an award for social justice impact. And let me tell you something, sis, that's the best clapback in the world, is when a whole election they stole a whole election from that woman. And she came back and said, that's fine. I'm going to take them all. I'm going to take them all. She galvanized people. She energized people. And I don't know about you, and if you've ever dealt with being in leadership in any way, one of the most difficult things to do is to get people moving. And particularly, I'm a Black woman, so I feel comfortable saying this. None of my white friends, you don't get to have this conversation because your people difficult too. Okay. Your people ain't a walking. 2020, your people showed out too. So don't do me. But leading people and getting out and galvanizing minority communities that, sometimes struggle with hope, sometimes struggle with access to the process. And sometimes the process, the voting process doesn't have a lot of integrity. Some don't put a lot of stock in it simply because of, that feeling like, yeah, you want my vote, but you're not going to do anything for me. And so in a lot of minority communities, hey, Brady Lewis, what you doing outside? But, getting enough energy behind you to to not just build up, a thing where you got people registered, but to get people registered and voting, that's some follow through that I think is just unique. And I know she didn't knock on all the doors, but I saw her be hands on. I know that there were a lot of people involved in the movement, but if you got to have somebody out front, it is amazing for it to be a brilliant, beautiful, extremely intelligent Black woman. That thing blessed my soul. So to see her get that award, and it was an absolute blessing. That was a moment that brought tears to my eyes. As we said, Viola Davis winning Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And if you haven't seen it, you need. I don't normally encourage people towards movies. I tell you, I've watched it and I liked it, and I enjoyed the history of it because I know that it's been a long running, play, and I haven't gotten an opportunity to see it as a play. Getting an opportunity to see it as a movie, I understand why it was such a big deal. And Viola Davis totally transformed herself into somebody else. Chadwick Boseman, he's such a good actor that he doesn't even have to change a lot about himself to come across like he's a whole different person. Now I know there's some out there that would call that a chameleon spirit. I pray that that's not what it was. I believe he was a good actor, and but did a fantastic. They just did a fantastic job with that story. And I've seen a lot of movies that were plays, and it doesn't always translate well. Like I believe that One Night in Miami started out a play and it transitioned into being a movie. And Regina King did a fantastic job of One Night in Miami, but Ma Rainey was a different kind of good. And so I enjoyed that. Extremely happy for Miss Davis because she won for Outstanding Actress in a Motion Picture and Outstanding Actress in a Drama Series for How to Get Away with Murder. I haven't watched that show in years, but it was amazing when I used to watch it. Issa Rae winning Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series, and I thought Issa came out of nowhere. I had no idea that Miss Issa had done, really kind of came from some of the work that she was doing. And her stuff is edgy. Her stuff is a little racy. She got some stuff that I can't, I can't, I can't, she has some stuff that, my sensibilities be jacked up on them. And I'm just like, oh, but, what she's doing with her platform is amazing. And I remember a few years ago, before we got into this season that we're in now, where everybody's a black activist. Everybody's a black activist now, even white people. Justin Bieber doing R&B music is what he said. Everybody black now. But I remember when she was at an award show. Right, Brady. Those plays that turn to movies, they might be on, they might be off. Sometimes it doesn't quite work. But those were two examples of two that really did. They hit it out the park with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and that One Night in Miami was captivating. It was amazing. But and the men were so handsome in that movie too. But come back. Okay, so what was I talking about? Issa Rae. But I remember at the award show, Issa is taught. They asked her, who she was pulling for, and her response was so wonderful. She said, "Everybody black." And I was like, yes, because that's how we watch these award shows. That's how we watch these award shows. And people can talk about, oh, it's not about the awards. Well, what you doing it for? You act to make money. You do movies to express yourself. You do movies because they pay you. And many times what you're paid is based on recognition that you get. People make money when they start getting awards. Your stock goes up in value. They need to start paying. Miss Viola Davis went out here talking about how y'all keep calling her the black Meryl Streep, but you don't pay her like Meryl Streep. But as you win awards and things, those kind of things add value to you. That's why Monique was out here acting crazy trying to shut Netflix down. Because she won that Oscar, she felt like, look, I know that awards act just like views, and y'all pay people for awards. So I'm an Oscar award winner, so cut me my Oscar award winner check. But somebody will tell Monique we wasn't leaving Netflix. No, it's come with something else. But but we can definitely make sure they hear our voices. I think it's important to stand up for who you are. You got to have some integrity. You got to have some values. You got to have a place to stand. Right there. So that's that. But But yeah, Issa is out here doing it. I've seen a lot of production things that she's gotten behind, and she's opened the door and letting other people in. I saw an interview with Chris Rock once, and he talked about how many times you just need the opportunity to get in the room, and a lot of times he would get invited to Hollywood parties, and he would go in, and he would go literally open the door and allow some people that he was friends with to slide in the doors because he was in the doors. And then he would vanish because, look, it's my job to get you in the room. Now that you're in the room, it's up to you to get out here and make it happen. And I think that's a very noble attitude to take, because you don't see a lot of that. You don't see a lot of that. People don't mentor much, especially not in fields where they're trying to make it too. But what I've loved in some of the interviews I've seen, I really see it a lot with the comedians. Because Leslie Jones, she talked about the same kind of thing where you open a door and then you let your friends in as best you can and get to the opportunity. I can't set you up. I can't make you be successful. But what I can do is what others have been doing for generations and let you in this door. And then, as much ability, as much access as you have, you make use of it. So yeah, Issa Rae, outstanding actress in a drama series, in a comedy series. The young gentleman from Bridgerton, I love that his name is Regé-Jean. I just find that amazing. LeBron James won President's Award. I haven't watched Bridgerton. People are loving it, but they just got a little too sexy for me, and not enough story for me to fast forward. So yeah, nah, it's a no for me. But people are loving it. And then I heard there was some stir because he's not coming back for the second season, which again, hopefully he goes on to do great things. Because he hosted Saturday Night Live and did a very admirable job. So I'm sure that he'll show up somewhere else. LeBron James won the President's Award. It was a good opportunity for him to get highlighted with some things that he's got happening out there. And then Eddie Murphy won the Hall of Fame award. And y'all, I'm going to be honest, I forgot Eddie was out there. I forget about Eddie. I forget because, Eddie will do a movie and go home with his 20 kids. And I was laughing when I thought about it. I'm like, who would have thought that in the year 2021, Bill Cosby would be in jail for drugging women and Eddie Murphy would be out here making, family movies? That says so much to me. Is you just don't know. You can't put people in a hole. I don't want to talk about whether or not Bill should be in prison because I'm not. I don't know. I wasn't there. I ain't drunk. I ain't been in his house and I ain't drunk nothing. But but who would have thought that that's where people would have landed? Was girl, look, because he got a bunch, sis. I think he has 10 in real life. And it's just, who would have thought that Eddie would be the, kicking it at the house with his kids, dude. And Bill was out here wilding. I know there were different eras and different time frames. I get it. I'm just saying that April 7th, 2021, Bill in jail and Eddie at the crib. That's weird. And you can't tell me that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that we thought that might be where things are, but it's where things are. So it's weird. But Arsenio Hall did a really good speech for him, and Eddie's weird to me, but okay. But then there were let's see, Insecure won for comedy series. Anthony Anderson won for actor in a comedy series for Blackish, which I love. And then everybody on Blackish apparently won something. Anthony Anderson for outstanding actor, Dion Cole for outstanding supporting actor, Marseille Martin, who is, let me come over here and talk about this little girl for a while. This young lady is absolutely amazing. And again, she's out here doing great things, the production deals, all kinds of things, and she's still a little kid. But the other day when I was looking at Blackish, I'm trying to figure out how long this show has been on, because the little boy has a mustache. And I'm like, how did how long this show been on TV? How long has this show been on TV? Because these little kids, they're not kids anymore, and they were such cute little babies, and now they are beautiful and handsome teenagers. But it threw me away that the young man has a full scale beard, mustache. It was funny to me. I don't know. Chadwick Boseman won for The Five Bloods, Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture. Let's see, Felicia Rashad, Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture for Jingle Jangle, which I don't know how I allowed the Christmas season to go by, and I heard how great the movie was, and I just haven't never got an opportunity to sit down and watch it. Outstanding Ensemble Cast in a Motion Picture, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom won that one. Let's see if there's some other things out here. Y'all, Method Man won Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. Now again, go back with me 20 years ago. Don't tell me people can't mature, but don't tell me 20 years ago that Method Man would be out here winning Image Awards. Well, I guess, well, it's for Ghost, one of the Power shows. So maybe he's playing a drug dealer. So maybe, maybe just maybe, because Mary J. Blige won for supporting actress for that same show. So, I guess they could redo that song. Yeah, I need to get back. Let's see. The Self-Made, inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker, outstanding television movie, won an award. I forgot that was just this last year. And so Blair Underwood won for his role in that, and Octavia Spencer won for her. Steph Curry won a special award for sports. And then there's a Dr. Kismekia Corbett who won an award. Now, they did a lot of the music awards a day or two earlier. And there's a young lady on here. My son and I were talking about her during the Grammys. And it was who's an image. I missed when that comment came up. But yeah. So where was I? Yeah, so the music awards came on. They did the music awards on the 25th. And there's this little girl named Doja Cat. And I don't know, I don't know her music, but I remember maybe a few years ago, I think maybe it's been a few years ago, that I saw this video and she's kind of dancing around talking about she's a cow. And so the last thing I saw this woman do, she's in this cow suit and she's mooing at us on the screen. And I thought maybe she was a comedian because I only saw, there was a clip in the video that I saw. So a few years later, seeing her on the Grammys, and when I tell you, put on a magnificent performance, and I'm like, wait a second. You mean the lady in the cow suit can do this? I love people who don't take themselves so seriously, and that was just really interesting to me. So I'm familiar with the name Drake. I know who he is. Beyonce, I know who she is. Chloe and Halle, those little girls sound like angels. Miss Megan the Stallion, featuring Beyonce, outstanding hip hop rap song Savage remix. Chloe, Megan, I don't know the rest of these people. Outstanding producer, Hit Boy, I don't know him. Brown Skin Girl, Blue Ivy Carter won an Outstanding Music Video Visual Album Award. But didn't she also win a Grammy? I think the little baby won a Grammy too. So, it's whatever. But I love that we get out here and celebrate Black people. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. Outstanding Gospel Christian Song, Touch From You by Tamala Mann. Outstanding Gospel Christian Album, The Return, the Clark Sisters. Let's see. What else happened up here? The WNBA Players Association won a special sports award. Jada's Red Table Talk won Outstanding Talk Series. Celebrity Family Feud won Versus. Yay. Those have been great. And I'm going to talk about that for a minute and then I'm going to get off of here. Because, yeah, that was something. Outstanding voiceover, Doc McStuffins. Jamie Foxx won for that movie Soul. Trevor Noah for The Daily Show. Loretta Devine for that show P-Valley. Let's see. Outstanding writing in a comedy series, Michaela Cole. She is a monster. That girl is outstanding. Let's see. Anya Adams from Blackish for Hair Day. Let's see. So yeah, there were a bunch of things that were won. And then our girl Tabitha Brown won for social media personality. And I just thought that was great. Tab is so sweet. I remember the first video of Tab that I saw. It was shortly after she had gone vegan. She turned vegan. So like she turned into a vampire or something. She transitioned to being a vegan. And she had found that field roast sausage, which is amazing to not be meat. It's wonderful. But she had made a salad or a pasta or whatever it was. And in that video, she was so funny, so country, so herself. And then the next one I saw, she was at Whole Foods getting a sandwich. And then the next thing I know, she's getting more consistent with doing these videos. And then eventually she became a product ambassador. Right. Well, I said that like she literally turned into something. But and her testimony about what going vegan did for her, how sick she was and the things that she was dealing with in her body. That dropping meat out of her diet helped her with. And I know for a season, it was extremely beneficial for me as well. But, my son is a mess. He says she got bit by a cauliflower and could only eat veggies. You know what? You need a nap. You need to go lay down. But yeah, it was so wonderful. They created a new category and my heart was just torn because Tab I love, and of course Kev on stage, my future he's my future supervisor. I'll put that in the atmosphere now. One day I'm gonna work for Kev on stage. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. And so the two of them, plus the young man, not Carlton Banks. And you all know, I have feelings about men who dress up like women and make fun of women for a living. I have feelings about that. I don't like it. But there is something about the transition that he makes and how accurately he has portrayed these personalities in the church. Every church got a bun. The girl with that tight updo with an attitude problem. Every church got a bun. Everyone. Every church got a Mary. The one that holler. When the spirit hit her, she hollering. Every church got a squint, kind of ghetto. The little girl Lily, I didn't know until recently that the little girl Lily was the pastor's granddaughter. I just found that out. I didn't know. And and so I think it's the development of all of those characters that just makes me laugh. Because he does the musicians, he's the musician, he does the pastor, he does first lady. It's hilarious. And he is so on point with most of the churches I've ever been, most of the black churches I've been a part of. And I know ain't no black church. Yes, there is. There are churches that are predominantly black and historically black. And black church culture has some peculiarities that you do not find anywhere else. There are other days when we beat up on the church, but there's some things I love about the church, and I love church people. They're a mess, but I love them. And he does such an accurate depiction of them. If you have not seen his videos, I'll be sharing them on the check-ins page because I think they're funny, and I don't care if you don't like them. I think they're funny. Um, but the three of them, and then there was another lady, Budgetnista, the young lady who shares some excellent budget information. If you don't follow her on Facebook, I encourage you to because she gives really good information. She's not preachy. She gives really good information about, issues dealing with credit, balancing your income, learning, getting your spending habits under control. If you're trying to buy a house, trying to make some moves with your credit score, all of those things. The Budgetnista, she's very good. But Tab ended up winning, and so it, sir, when I say black church is its own thing, and I don't care. And what's funny is I attended a primarily white church long enough to know that they have their own culture as well. They just need a not Carlton Banks to get out there and do those characters because they are there. Trust me. But the ones that I love, the ones that look like, my granny and my TTs, are the ones that Carlton Banks does. And I just think they're funny because he's developed full characters out of these people. And I find it to be hilarious because I love church people and I don't care where you are. If you want good laughs, you got to get the word. You got to do that. But there's nothing like church people. There's nothing like church people. Nothing like it. I love them. Nothing like church people. But yeah. So the NAACP awards were good. You had some people that we know, people that we don't know. Have we had the Oscars? Haven't happened yet, have they? I'm looking forward to watching those because I really enjoyed um, Judas and the Black Messiah, and I'm really hopeful. I'm curious to see what they do with Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield being nominated in the same category. Like instead of one of them being a lead actor and the other a supporting, they nominated them both in supporting roles, and that's just weird for me. But okay, um, hopefully one of them should win. That's the thing that should have happened. So I'm really actually looking forward to the Oscars for that purpose. I don't know anything else that's nominated. I just know that. So, but I do enjoy those because sometimes you can get some ideas on some things that can be fun to watch. So that is that. The last thing I'm gonna talk to you all before I go home is we're gonna talk about this thing right here. Hold on, let me show y'all something. We're gonna talk about this. And I will say I did not watch very much of the verses because I Steve Harvey just kind of gets on my nerves, and so I can't. And I was just hearing too much of his voice and not enough. Okay, Brady, the Oscars are in a couple of weeks. Thank you, son. I appreciate that. You are always such a great help to me. But we're gonna talk about this right here. When your granddaddy show up at the show looking like an uncle, it's gonna be some problems. And I have been blown away at the level of oohs and ahs that this man has gotten. Now, I'm not an Isley Brothers, I'm not a huge Isley Brothers fan. And because in many instances, Ron sounds to me, I know unpopular opinion, get mad if you want, but Ron sounds to me like that uncle that you can't keep leave the kids with. That's who he's, that's just me. I'm sorry. That's just me. So I don't really vibe a lot with their music. But they do have some, they got some hits. We're not gonna take that away. Cause yeah, I think like maybe two in my old school playlist that I listen to sometimes. But Ron busted up in the joint looking like he was a straight up uncle and not somebody's 80-year-old great granddaddy. And it tickled me because y'all can say he looks good while he's standing still. When he started moving around, you saw all 80 of them years. I know he used to carry that cane because I guess he was a pimp for real. But he needed that cane. Y'all should have stopped moving on as soon as he started moving around. When he started moving around, baby, you saw all 80 of them years. They grabbed him. They said, hey, boy. Woo! He did all that standing up. I said, Lord, help him. You know, Earth, Wind, and Fire, they've never, necessarily been a handsome bunch. So, it's not surprising to me that nobody was oohing and ahhing over Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I prefer their music. But Uncle Ron, Mr. Ron, showed up looking like he about that life. For real. He's got a 44-year-old wife. I said, go ahead, Mr. Ron. You doing it. So you can expect when church reopens, if your church hasn't opened yet, when church reopens, Ron was modeling the the next wave of deacon wear. So when Deacon Watkins show up at church looking like a sugar daddy, I want y'all to be oohing and ahhing at the church about them. Yes, Earth, Wind, and Fire definitely can sing. I have a greater connection to their music. I love what they do, and I know there's some symbolism attached to them and all of that. We won't talk about that over here. That's my other channel. Over here, we're just talking about the memories generated by the good music. By the music. But honey, let me tell y'all something. These old dudes out here walking around here looking 50, acting 50, and because of these ED drugs out here carrying on like they 50, out here making these old babies. Y'all be careful is all I'm saying, because they're still old men. He look good standing up. But when he started moving around, baby, you saw somebody get granddaddy's hand. As long as he was sitting down, you know it, sis. You know he was headed to the four corners. He was headed to the hole in the wall. You better believe it. Most definitely he was. So, but I didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of it. I heard them playing some tunes and I heard them singing some tunes. I'm just impressed with them as elders, as long as they've been in the game. I heard doing music for them to hang in there for hours and continue to entertain quite the way they do. That one brother with the perm who never stops moving in the concert. When you see them in a show, the whole show he dancing and he do a whole set where it's just him playing, chilling on his guitar. showing out, but just that energy in their life, and they're a blessing. I've heard that, Brady. Well, you told me that. I'm not familiar with Alex, but I definitely intended to check her out after I heard you. But yeah, it's a blessing. I know we've had verses primarily for the young folk, and one of these days I'm gonna find out something about Jeezy besides the fact that he used to date Fantasia. I don't know none of his music. But like I know y'all love like Jeezy and Gucci Mane. I'm scared of them, so I'm not watching that because I feel like I might get shot. But yeah, I feel like they'll be shooting through the screen at them shows. But I think one is coming up with sometime in May with SWV and Escape. That should be interesting. Um, Look, okay. Here's what I know about Jeezy is Jeezy, I believe, used to go by the name Young Jeezy, I believe. And at one point, he was boyfriend to our girl, Fantasia. Gucci Mane married this girl named Keisha. I know that because they had a show on BET. And he's got, because he used to have a ice cream cone tattooed on his face. I don't know if he still has it. And I know that. Anything else, you'll have to ask on a night when Brady is here because I don't know. But yeah, they had one that was apparently pretty. Oh, but I do know their drama. So apparently, and Brady, help me if I'm wrong on this anywhere because I don't know what I'm talking about. Uh, apparently, at some point, the two of them did a song together that became a pretty big hit, and both of them wanted to put it out, and I think it was on one of their albums and maybe not on the other one's album. And somehow or the other there was some hurt feelings, and one of them put a hit out on the other one, and somehow or the other, or I don't know if it was a hit or like they was gonna steal some chains. There was some chains involved, right, son? Help me now. There was some chains involved in this situation, and somebody got robbed, and in robbing him somebody got killed, and I don't know which one of them did the killing, but I know that somebody got killed. And after he killed him, he did a song about it. And when they did the verses, they played the song that the dude did about killing the other dude's friend. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. It's cold out here. So that's the depth of what I know about them. Oh, you're right. You are right, sis. I also know that he is married to, is it politically correct to say Asian? Are y'all going to call the people on me if I'm wrong? He's married to, I know her name. Her name is Jeannie Mai. I won't call her the Asian girl. I will call her Jeannie Mai, Jeannie Mai. One of them. Yes, they married. So that's the extent. That's all you need to know about Jeezy and Gucci Mane in a nutshell. So yeah. So, they had their show, and then, they did some stuff for the Midlands, the middles of us, D'Angelo and Snoop Dogg, DMX. Pray for that brother. Because it's tough out here when you see people who try and fall or go or run back. I don't know what the story is. Try and, try to get it right and then can't. And then there we go. Come through, my big homie, little brother, Demetrius. There we go. Gucci killed Jeezy's friend, then made a song called The Truth. There we go. Come on. Look at the Saints. Come on now. The Saints coming through with the information on Jeezy and Gucci. Look at her. Jeezy and Jeannie just got married on the 27th. Okay. Lord. All right. So look at that. Amen. Your young people get married. That's awesome. Okay. I can take it. That's wonderful. But I'm going to just warn y'all again. Don't get tricked by these old men out here. Ask him to walk around. See if his knees still working. See if you're going to have to hold him up. See, just know. So I'm just saying. But yeah, Brother Ron showed up and showed out from what I'm told. Look, out there, the knees sore. Looking like Denzel. Smelling like granddaddy with that Asper cream. Ain't nobody got time for that. Although, exactly, Shawnetta. That's all you gotta do is take all your photos sitting down, cause all it takes is that one. There's that one particular move that them bad knees do that lets you know. You might have to rub them knees a little bit, but the people were impressed. Again, I told y'all I don't fool with Ron Isley like that. So, but again, I think it's something when granddaddy show up looking like an uncle, and everybody, yeah, the people were over the moon about him. So, but I'm gonna get out of here because I got somewhere to be. I have a thing to do. I have an assignment that I must fulfill on tonight. So I thank you all for coming in here and hanging out with me. Like and share with your people. And yeah, I'm not. I heard Steve Harvey took over a little much, and I'm not a big fan of Steve Harvey. He gets on my, I can't do a whole lot of him. And so, but apparently at some point they talked to him and he kind of scaled it back. But yeah, he sounded like he had a little bit of too much of the liquor, and he was. I can't do him sober. So I know him with some fuel in him. I wasn't gonna be something I could handle. But yeah, we will be here next week at our regular time, prayerfully. Should the Lord say the same. Where we will have some fun-filled conversation about something. Because y'all be out here doing stuff. Somebody going to do something for us to talk about. And we going to talk about it. So until I see you again, as I say every time, check in on your people. If you haven't talked to them in a while, give them a call, send them a message, send them a text message, hit them up on Facebook. If they are not on social media, give them a call. Check on somebody this week that you haven't talked to in a while. They need to hear from you. You matter to them and they matter to you more than you even think about it. So call somebody you haven't talked to in a while and just hear their voice and make sure they're okay. Love y'all. See y'all next time. Holler.